Today I'm going to talk about an issue which has not only rocked Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh, but parts of the entire country. As you know, on October 7, an IPS officer of the Haryana cadre of the rank of ADGP committed suicide by shooting himself with a service revolver. The deceased officer is Y. Puran Kumar, an SC officer whose wife is also a senior IAS officer in Haryana. I'm mentioning the fact that he was a scheduled caste officer only because that aspect of his being an SC officer is crucial to the whole controversy that has unfortunately emerged. But sadly, 6 days after the tragic officer ended his life, things have not moved forward. Neither has there been a post-mortem of the dead body so far, nor has the probe into the matter moved forward. It has made very little progress, if any. Why? The answer is simple. The matter has been mishandled, badly mishandled from day one, both by the Haryana government and the UT police, that is the Chandigarh police. Chandigarh is where the unfortunate incident of the officer having committed suicide had occurred on October 7. So what exactly should be done? That is the big question. Before I give my view on that, on what should be done, let me explain how the matter has been mishandled, as I have alleged in the beginning of this podcast. Within hours of the suicide, a very clear narrative was floated implicating the deceased ADGP in some kind of extortion case from a liquor contractor in Rohtak. Information that immediately started doing the rounds, which was floated in the media, was that an FIR had been lodged against the ADGP's gunman by the name of Sushil Kumar in Rohtak in Haryana the previous day, that is October 7. Irrespective of the truth in the matter, the timing of the information that was floated in the media and that came out is crucial. Not just the timing. The big question is at whose behest was the FIR lodged? FIR in Rohtak I'm talking about. Surely the FIR against the gunmen of the ADGP, with sure potential of the IPS officers' possible involvement, could not have been registered without the knowledge of the senior officers, the higher ups in the police, or at least some of higher ups in the Haryana police. So I feel. Now coming to the suicide, which the officer committed on October 7, and the 8 or 9 page final note that ADGP Puran Kumar had left behind, that was found from the site. Why did the Chandigarh police register an FIR almost 2 days after the suicide? I would think that the FIR should have been registered, lodged on the day of the incident, or at best the following day. That is when the deceased officer's wife had launched a formal and a written complaint both to the Chandigarh police, and I think she had given a copy also to the Haryana government. What is more is the fact that the belated FIR, which was registered on October 9, the FIR was belated. Even that one did not take into account all aspects of the case and the complaint which was lodged after the day of the suicide. Was it due to the fact that the complainant had named, rightly or wrongly, as many as 13 or 14 officers, including the Haryana DGP, Shatrujit Kapoor, and the Rohtak Superintendent of Police, Narendra Bijarnia? Their involvement or otherwise is a matter of probe. At this point in time, we can't make a comment. But since the final note of the officer, the deceased officer, and the complaint of his wife named the two, so they could not have been omitted, or their involvement could not have been diluted at this stage of filing of the FIR. That is a matter to be decided at the charge sheet stage. The very fact that the FIR had to be later amended, or some provisions were later, they had to be added in the FIR, is proof enough that the Chandigarh police had somewhat bungled. whether the accused officers should be proceeded against under various sections of the law, under section 31R of the SC Act or section 32V of the SC Act, that's a matter to be decided at the time of filing of the charge sheet. After investigations, that's not a matter to be decided at the filing of the FIR. One section of the SC Act attracts a 6-month jail term and the other attracts life imprisonment. So this part is very crucial. Why was one added initially and the other one not added initially? The moving of the dead body, which is waiting for autopsy, from Sector 16 hospital to PGI in Chandigarh without involving the family is objectionable. Now, very clearly, the Chandigarh police says that this was a procedural issue, the shifting of the body.
तो आज यहाँ पे हम पीजीआई में मोर्चरी के बाहर खड़े हैं और फैमिली की कंसेंट के बाद ही पोस्टमार्टम शुरू होगा। अभी फैमिली से मैसेज आना बाकी है। यहाँ पे सारे डॉक्टर्स और टीम्स हैं, मौजूद हैं, बट फैमिली की कंसेंट के बिना कोई भी कार्रवाई हो नहीं सकती है, लीगली भी पॉसिबल नहीं है, तो फैमिली की कंसेंट की वेट की जा रही है। इन्वेस्टिगेशन अभी चल रही है। आज का हमारा मुद्दा जो पोस्टमार्टम का था, तो उसके बारे में बताना चाहती हूँ कि फैमिली जैसे ही हमें गो अहेड देगी, फैमिली यहाँ पे आएंगी, स्टेटमेंट्स रिकॉर्ड होती हैं, पूरा प्रोसीजर है, उसके बाद ही कोई कार्रवाई आगे की जाएगी। जी, जैसे ही हमें जो भी परिवार बोलेगा उसी के हिसाब से करेंगे और परिवार हमें जो भी इंटीमेट करेगा अभी वो हम आपको बता देंगे।
But why not take the deceased family into confidence? Now the police are saying that a postmortem will not be conducted, will not be done without the family's okay, consent, their go ahead. In that case, then why move the body without their consent as was done?
हमारे बिना पूछे इन्होंने बॉडी शिफ्ट की है, ठीक है। हमारे साथ धक्का हो रहा है, एक डीजीपी लेवल का बंदा मर गया, ठीक है, 5 दिन हो गए हमें इंसाफ नहीं मिला।
It only gives another reason, a plausible reason for the family to complain. In my opinion, it was a thoughtless action on the part of the Chandigarh police, a very clear oversight on their part. The Haryana government too has failed to act as per the taking into consideration the seriousness of the matter. Since the final note of the deceased ADGP and his wife's complaint the next day clearly implicated various officers, especially these 2 officers, the Haryana government still did not change the DGP and the Rohtak SP initially. Neither did it send them on leave pending investigations. As I have said, they may or may not be guilty, but their continuation in their posts was untenable pending the investigations or the probe. And finally, as we all know, on Saturday the Rohtak SP was changed, but the DGP was not. No wonder. All this, the way it has been handled, it has given political color to the incident. We see the Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party, the Indian National Lok Dal and many others, their leaders have joined the issue. Now this is not just in Haryana, even in the adjoining Punjab. The Khap Panchayats in Haryana have raised certain points. We also noticed that the Akal Takht has also spoken out. So all this, protests, dharnas, candle marches that we hear about, that we see, were all avoidable had the governments in this case, acted well in time. After all, this was a very serious matter. The deceased family itself is now facing tremendous pressure from various quarters, from their relatives, from others.
सरकार 5 दिन हो गए आपको ये सब करते।
मैंने नहीं करनी।
नहीं, किसी को नहीं।
मत बुलाओ, हमें छोड़ दो जी आप।
हाँ, हमें छोड़ दो सारे जने।
छोड़ दो।
जी हम तो आपके साथ ही रहे, बताओ हम।
बॉडी सरकार जो करना कर ले, भाई पूरन कुमार का।
की कर दोगी जी सरकार, साडा उनकी कर, साडा बंदा।
हम तो आपके साथ हैं जी, मारे को तो आप, हम तो आपके साथ रहे हैं।
तो मैंने मेरी बेटी ने देखा नहीं।
प्रीत तू कोई फैसला नहीं लेगी, सारा परिवार का एक बोर्ड बनाओ, उसको फैसला लऊगा। ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੜਨਾ ਯਾਰ, ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਗਲ ਥੋੜੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ, ਕੋਈ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਥੋੜੀ ਹੈ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਦੱਸੋ ਵੀ ਐਂ ਲੈ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ।
मैं ਦੱਸਿਆ है जाके, मैं ਦੱਸਦਾ सब
मीडिया में बता दिया, क्लियर कर दिया परिवार के एसएमपी है।
जाके डीजीपी यूपी।
And we know that the political leaders are making a beeline to the family to express their sympathy. It is no surprise that most of them are trying to draw political they're trying to draw political mileage from the incident. But that always happens. But all that I can say is, and it's very clear, that each step is only complicating the whole case further. And now we hear that the 31-member Mahapanchayat has given a 48-hour ultimatum to arrest the DGP and the former Rohtak SP who were named in the final note and also in the complaint the next day by the wife. Just like the Colonel beating up case in Patiala a few months ago, this case too has been very clearly mishandled at various stages. That case finally went to the CBI. And this is far more serious. This case is far more serious. It relates to the loss of a life of a senior officer. So what should be done? The matter, in my opinion, the matter must be handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation, which is the CBI. Now, why a CBI inquiry? Now, I'll explain that as to why a CBI inquiry must be ordered into this IPS officer suicide case. There have been a series of blunders, faux pas, by the Chandigarh police, as I have just explained. So I don't think they can continue with the probe. Delayed and incomplete FIR are among other things that I've just spoken about. So in my opinion, Chandigarh police have very clearly lost the local stand-eye to continue the probe. So I think you could disagree with that. I also feel that the matter involves senior officers, and one of the accused is the DGP of a state, a nearby state, an SIT headed by an IG that the Chandigarh police has appointed, in my opinion, can't do justice. Chandigarh police just doesn't have the senior officers enough to probe such a complicated matter where other senior officers of adjoining states are involved or are named. In states or in the union territories, police ranks matter in the police hierarchy. In CBI, it's the premier investigating agency. Rank of the investigating officer isn't that important. It doesn't really matter, as we all know that the UT, also I want to say that the UT Home Secretary in Chandigarh is from the Haryana cadre. However fair he may act, questions can always be raised on his role since police functions under the Home Secretary in Chandigarh. The obvious subject of the CBI probe should also be the FIR that was initially registered in Rohtak against the gunmen of the deceased IPS officer Puran Kumar. How did this come about? Who exactly is the liquor contractor Praveen Bansal? What is his background? What kind of evidence has Praveen Bansal submitted to the Haryana police when the FIR was lodged? How credible is that? Did he actually act by himself, or was he acting at somebody's behest? These are among the many questions that beg an answer, that come to one's mind immediately. It is also important that the CBI inquiry, if ordered, as I have been saying, is made time-bound. I know questions could also be raised. A lot of people might say that the CBI is under the union government, it works under the Home Ministry, and that in both Haryana and at the center there is the BJP government in place. But then somewhere the matter has to rest. Someone has to inquire. The ultimate litmus test of the probe will be the courts, including the High Court and Supreme Court, where all such cases finally will land up. Moreover, the CBI has already investigated many senior officers in the country. You must have all heard about the West Bengal DGP Rajiv Kumar's involvement or possible involvement in the chit fund case. The case is very old, but the Supreme Court, I think a couple of years ago, was possibly 2014, it had transferred that case to the CBI. So this is one case, and only last week the Supreme Court had also transferred yet another case, the Deva Parthi case of Madhya Pradesh. In this case also, the involvement of some of the senior officers had come to the fore. This case involves the death of a youth in police custody in Madhya Pradesh. So yes, in view of all this and many similar cases involving IAS and IPS officers, where caste or professional bias is often alleged, the Union Home Ministry needs to constitute a high-powered redressal grievances cell where aggrieved officers like Purun Kumar could go and could lodge their complaints so that they don't have to end their life if there is a problem. Caste bias and some service matters that he has mentioned, Purun Kumar has mentioned in his final note, should be dealt with by such a specialized, could be dealt with by such a specialized redressal cell. There could be complaints of all kinds, including by general caste officers alleging bias by an SCCM or a minister or vice versa. All this could be listened to by this redressal cell that I am suggesting. I know there is a National Commission for Scheduled Castes, but the mandate of this particular commission, the National Commission for Scheduled Castes, is too general in my opinion, too general in nature. What we actually need, what is the need of the hour, is a professional body consisting of professionals, qualified professionals to address day-to-day professional and service matters. But for now, the immediate issue is different. But for now, let the ADGP Purun Kumar suicide case be transferred to the CBI. Sooner this is done, the better it will be. Let us give the deceased family time to grieve and take stock of their colossal loss. This is my take.